So growing up, I've always had big ambitions. I've always wanted to be the one that everyone claps for. I've always wanted to have some kind of medal, some kind of achievement somehow. And I realized that this kind of path is full of pain, full of obstacles, full of things that will not make me feel comfortable in the current moment that I was in. So I've never taken any action towards that. I've never went to a gym. I've never went to anything at that time, by the way. Never went to any gym at that time because I thought it was full of pain. And I couldn't understand how can someone sacrifice comfort for pain? Like it doesn't make any sense. Like when you think of it, it's just gonna make no sense. So I never started. I never taken any action towards that. In order to land a sale, I have to be rejected multiple times so I can have some experience. Doesn't make sense at that time. And I realized that if I kept having this kind of mindset, I will not have any kind of development whatsoever. So I decided to read about obstacles. I decided to read about mistakes. And what I found literally left me speechless. Before we proceed, I just would like to ask you to like and subscribe to this video because I'm trying to spread the message of self-improvement so you can be a cause for spreading that self-improvement message. With that being said, let's continue. There is no path in this life without obstacles. No matter what kind of way you take in life, whether you go to school or you drop out, you become an athlete, you don't become an athlete, whatever path you take in life, there is always obstacles. And you want to know something? Even the things that feel good, like playing games, for example. Playing games, at first you're terrible at the game, an obstacle, right? But you still decide to keep on playing the game, and then you improve through what? Through obstacles, right? And also the things that we don't feel good from, like cold showers, lifting weights, all of those kind of things, they don't feel good at all at first. But as we proceed with it, it starts to feel good and we start to feel the benefits it can actually provide. So obstacles are the raw materials of improvement. They both are basically equal. Obstacles are basically improvement, and improvement are basically obstacles. The thing about obstacles that improves us is that it has some kind of way to test our abilities on how patient we can be, to test our abilities on how we can be creative, right? Once we have some kind of resistance on those, like I feel, for example, that being patient is now tempting while I'm in this kind of obstacle. I'm trying to overcome this kind of obstacle. I run out of patience, but I still decided to continue. Once this patient skill is in temptation, is in combat, it is actually improving. So once our abilities is getting tested, we improve. Same exact way we improve in the gym. If you look at athletes who lift weights and they're bodybuilders and stuff like that, you're going to realize that every 2 to 3 weeks, they increase the weight, right? They increase the weight by like 2.5 pounds, for example, or kg, whatever. They try to make sure that the last rep is the one that is the hardest out of all of the reps that they had. So if you look at anyone who lifts weight, that you will see at the last rep, they are struggling really, really hard. And there is so much burn, so much pain around the muscle, right? There is something important that I need to tell you, is that once you go through pain, you improve. That has already been said. You already understood it. But unfortunately, what will make those kind of people special who overcome obstacles is that they don't rely their happiness or their maturity or their education based on how they feel. They rely their decisions on what is the most righteous decision I can make. Because as I have already said multiple times, the right decisions are the ones that feel the least good. The least. But at some point, it will feel good again. because you will thank yourself that you took this kind of decision and you avoided this kind of decision. Cold showers don't feel good, but they help you focus at work a little bit longer. Lifting weights doesn't feel good, but it gives you a lot of confidence, right? You realize when you have pain, you have pleasure at the end. This is basically how self-improvement works now. So when you face an obstacle, I want you to ask yourself something. Will I ever be blocked by this obstacle? Or will I have multiple opportunities to improve through it? And if you want me to give you an actionable step for this video, I want you to write this question that I gave you in a paper, and I want you to answer it by yourself. With that being said, remember, no one will save you but yourself.